The reason I am starting this cooking show is because of my mother. Unfortunately, she passed away in February of this year, and the one cookbook that I was able to salvage is this book from 1902. This cookbook is insane, you guys. It has anything in it from how to brine eggs to how to make pemmican. There's possum pie in here. I doubt we're gonna be making that. I am going to cook my way through this book, and I hope you guys join me on the adventure. It's gonna be interesting, I promise you. I can guarantee you that. Hi, welcome to Mrs. Eden Claire. This is episode number 4. I'm so excited to have all of you here today. Thanks so much for the love and support you all have been giving me in the previous episodes. It's so exciting. For those of you that are new to my cooking show, I am cooking my way through a cookbook called 3 Meals a Day. It used to belong to my mother. She passed away in February of this year. This book is from 1902. It's literally falling apart on me here. There's a whole little section called fried cakes, and I've had some requests to make donuts, so I thought it's getting close to Christmas time. I'm going to do a twist on the donut hole and make a croquembouche. It's a tree that's usually made out of profiteroles. You use pâte to make it. But today I thought we're gonna do our own little hack, our own little twist on it. We're gonna use donut holes and we're gonna put it together. It's just your own little Christmas tree, but edible, so doesn't get much better than that. We're gonna jump right on into it. The recipe I chose has buttermilk in it. You can make buttermilk. Buttermilk is just milk that's reacted to some kind of acid. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of vinegar in the bottom of this because I'm making 2 cups so for each cup you'd put 1 tablespoon. So here we have 2 tablespoons. Fill it up to the 2-cup line. I'll move this vinegar so you can see better what I'm doing here. Just give that a good stir and let that sit about 10 minutes or so, and that should curdle quite nicely for you. If it doesn't quite get as curdle as you're looking for, just add a little bit more vinegar. Basically, all it tells me is there's a list of ingredients, then it says the egg may be omitted and you want flour to roll out. It doesn't even tell me how much flour. It says I can add some cinnamon or nutmeg. I can vary the recipe by adding some baking powder. It's gonna be an adventure, and let's go with it. So I'm going to be adding 1 cup full of sugar here to my bowl. I love to use this Zolka brand pure cane sugar. I get it at Walmart. I'm super excited that they offer this now. We're gonna be doing 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I love to use my little copper pan that came all the way from London. So any chance I get, so I'm gonna be using that to melt my butter, and I decided I'm gonna actually brown it because I feel like that's gonna add a nice little flavor. My butter is almost there. It's got that hazelnut brown on it. I'm gonna let it cool off a little bit because I'm not entirely sure about adding really hot butter to my sugar here. It's asking for a pinch of salt, and it also had said scant on the sugar, so I took some back out. I believe our buttermilk is getting really close. I'm gonna give it another stir. I'm just really curious what texture this is gonna be like, especially with them not telling me what kind of flour, like, you know, how much flour we're looking at. And by the way, I'm going to be using a Bob's Red Mill all-purpose flour. I'm a huge fan of them, mostly because of their packaging. I know that's so silly, but I just love their packaging. Their pastry flour comes in this pink bag that is just so adorable. It brightens up my shelves, and I just love it. Anyways, I've always had really good results with their flour too. So we're gonna cut this bag open and start mixing this in as soon as I get that butter in there. Okay, so I've read this recipe several times and I'm getting kind of confused because it's telling me that I can vary this recipe by using 1 cup full of water, which I do have here, and adding 1/3 teaspoonfuls of cream of tartar. Obviously, they were banking on everybody being, you know, a pretty amazing chef or just knowing what they were doing. Like I said, probably mama taught these girls how to cook. And so they knew what they were doing. I know I'm gonna need this egg. And we're already looking like we have, you know, quite a bit of liquid in here because I have the 2 cupfuls of buttermilk. I have the cup of sugar. I have 1 egg. So I've just decided, since that's a variation, I'm just gonna not mess with that at all and just stick to the recipe. So I'm adding the melted butter. Ooh, that just smells amazing. There's nothing I love more than some good brown butter. I'm gonna be adding a teaspoonful of soda, and I forgot to grab a wooden spoon, which is not good mise en place. Mise en place, by the way, is just fancy French for everything in its place, which means now that I'm making my recipe, do I have everything? Am I gonna have to walk away to get a wooden spoon? Shouldn't have to, but I'm going to. Okay, also grabbed a whisk. I'm whisking together all this stuff so it's nice and blended. And then I'm gonna start adding my flour. And since I haven't made this recipe before, I don't know how many donut holes this is gonna make. I'm hoping it'll make enough that I can make a real nice, tall croquembouche for you guys. Okay, so I started taking a look at how much liquid I had, and I just didn't think it looked like quite enough to make us a nice, tall croquembouche tree, because I was like, you know, if we're gonna make it, we gotta do it right, okay? So I went ahead and doubled the liquids. And I'm gonna start adding flour, 1 cupful at a time here. And we'll see how this turns out. There's 1 cup. Let's whisk that in. Okay, I have about 6 cupfuls of flour in here now. Okay, I'm about at 8 cupfuls of flour now. I still don't think I'm quite to the consistency I'm looking for. I'm not sure if you can see this or not. We're still more at like a batter-like texture. I'm looking for more of a rollout texture because I want to get some nice shapes with my donut holes. So our croquembouche is beautiful. Okay, so we're about 9 to 10 cups here. We're looking a little bit more like what I would expect donut dough to look like. And this recipe is special to me. The Belizean fusion part of this recipe is kind of a throwback to my mom. When I was little, she would make donuts to sell, and I would walk around the village with a little container. Sometimes I'd put it on top of my head, and I would walk to all the houses, all the surrounding houses, and I would sell them for, I think it was 50 cents a piece. And I remember being terrified to go back to this one house because I didn't know them very well, and I was just not sure they were gonna buy one from me, and like how embarrassing would that gonna be, you know, if they didn't get one. But anyway, so this whole experience has a lot of special memories for me, and is one reason I chose to do donuts today. I'm just gonna get my hands in here and just get to kneading, and I'm hoping that you can take this tradition and make it one of your own with your kids, and you know, create special memories for them. I almost forgot my most important ingredient and the thing that's gonna bring that earthy holiday taste to my donuts, and that's nutmeg. So I'm sprinkling some in, and I'm gonna knead it in as I go. I love me some nutmeg. I mean, something about smelling that during the holidays is just magical. Okay, so I have it kneaded into this nice ball here. It feels like just the perfect texture to me. Since soda is the only active ingredient in here, it's not gonna take long, but I'm gonna give it about 10 minutes to rise, and then I'm gonna get my oil heated in this pan, and we should be seeing donuts bobbing in just a couple minutes. Traditionally, profiteroles would be filled with pastry cream to make a croquembouche. So what we're gonna do is make a pastry cream just like we usually would and fill the donut holes. So the first thing going into the pan to get heated is 3 cups of, well, it should be milk. I use heavy cream just because I like the richness of cream, and I mean, who doesn't like heavy whipping cream, okay? So if it's available, why not use it? I have 8 egg yolks in my bowl here, and a cup of sugar, and I'm going to be stirring that, beating that until it's kind of light in color. And then I'm going to be adding 6 tablespoons of cornstarch to that. And then basically what we're looking to do is temper the cream into these egg yolks. And it works out perfect. Since we used egg yolks for the pastry cream, that leaves me with whites. I thought, hey, Let's be efficient, use these egg whites. I'm going to be pouring about 4 of them into my mixer here. I'm going to be beating those until they're frothy, and I'll be adding 2 1/4 cups of powdered sugar to my bowl, and that'll make us an authentic French meringue, which we'll use to decorate the croquembouche. So I've added the cornstarch to the egg yolk and sugar mixture. It kind of looks like a paste. It's a lighter color. My cream is hot enough now. You don't want to get it to a boil. You want it just hot enough that it's scalded. I'm going to be pouring a little bit into this, and basically what we're looking to do is called tempering. When you're adding a little bit of hot liquid to this colder room temperature liquid, it brings down the heat of the cream. You don't want to add it too much at a time or you're going to scramble your eggs. So there we go. Add a little bit more. Make sure this is all the same temperature. Now this is tempered. We're going to be pouring it right back into the pan where it came from. We're going to be bringing this to a boil and then cooking it for about 30 seconds until it thickens. We got to bring it to a boil to get that cornstarch to thicken this up. And then I'll be removing it from the heat and adding 2 tablespoons of butter. So we have our meringues just beating away back there, and pastry cream is not something you want to walk away from because it can all of a sudden turn. It'll get too thick on you and you can scorch the bottom. You can see the consistency here. It leaves a trail when I go like that. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of butter and some vanilla. You almost can't go wrong with vanilla. Throw that in there. Get that butter to melt, and I'll be straining it over here to remove any, if the egg would happen to curdle on you on the bottom or anything like that. That's what you want the bottom of your pan to look like. You don't want to see any scorched egg on the bottom. Move it through that sieve. We'll put that to cool, and that'll be great and perfectly ready for us when we're ready to get that in the profiteroles, or the donuts in this case. Okay, so we're ready to head back to the donuts. This looks nice, probably a little bit heavier than the traditional yeast risen dough, but that's all right. I'm gonna quarter it, and then I'm gonna roll it out, cut it into little circles, and we're gonna be frying this. I'm gonna be experimenting with the thickness of this since I've done it before, and I'm not sure what size these will puff into, since the baking soda is the active ingredient in here. So we're gonna test out a couple, see if they're about the right size for croquembouche, and we'll move on to the next ones. I didn't have the right size cutter, so I used my scoop as a cutter, and I got about this size. We're gonna drop it into the hot fat here, test it out, see if the fat is hot enough. If it's hot enough, it should rise to the surface almost immediately. It's not quite rising as fast as it should, so we should probably turn that up just a little bit. And that'll give us a good indication though of how they're gonna puff up for us. So there's a nice little hack for you if you have a scoop like this. I had tried out one and it was still a little bit doughy in the middle, so I'm looking to turn up my heat a little bit. I'm probably about a medium high right now, and I'm probably frying them for about 6 minutes. This is what you call holier than thou. Woo! They're already puffing up, yeah! These actually look very similar to profiteroles to me. So hopefully this will work just great. Some of them, they're split a little bit. Those are gonna be my duds, my taste testers. Who doesn't like a good taste tester? Caramel is just water and sugar. Let it go on the stove until you see it starting to bubble and boil. And it is something that changes really fast though, so you don't want to walk away from it and just leave it for a long time. For caramel, once it gets to the boiling stage, you're gonna have to watch it real carefully because it can boil for a while like that, start bubbling, and then all of a sudden it's gonna hit that color that you want. You're looking for a deep amber color. I like to move around my pan so I can see on the sides. Don't ever stir caramel, you'll turn it into crystal. But yeah, we're not quite there yet. I'm looking for just a little bit deeper of a color. We're gonna get there fairly soon, probably a minute or two. Okay, so what I'm gonna be doing is taking a skewer and poking a little hole in it, and that's where I'm gonna be going in with my tip so I can fill these with the pastry cream. And you're gonna wanna kind of wiggle around a little bit so there's room in there because you wanna get as much pastry cream in there as possible. And you can also use a tip if you have a smaller one at home, or depending on what size your donut holes came out to be, and do the same thing. I'm getting ready to finish up filling my last couple of my donut holes with the pastry cream. I'm sure you guys would have loved to watch me fill about 200 of those, but I spared you that. Okay, everybody, we're ready for the fun part, the part that I've been waiting for literally all day. Because croquembouche is a process. You know, I fried these, I filled them. Now I've made my caramel, and now we are going to head on to the fun, sticky part. And my caramel is exactly the color I want it right now. What I like to do is take 2 skewers like this. Pretend I'm from Asia, and just watch me now. Now I can't get it. I just did a couple practice ones. Okay, dip it into the sugar like that. Get it completely covered. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this one right back on my tray because I want to start with the bigger one on the bottom, and this is one of the smaller ones. But look at that beautiful gold caramel on there. I chose this plate that I have here at my house because it's green around the the outside for Christmas, and you're not going to be seeing the design in the middle once I'm finished. And I'm hoping that we will have a beautiful Christmas tree in no time at all. I'm just going to go ahead and make a circle as my base. I'm starting off with some of the bigger ones to use as my base, and if one side of it is not as nice looking as the other one, I face that to the inside to hide the imperfections. You know, it's like when you squish yourself in a pair of jeans. Whoa, I might not even be able to do this after all. We are pretty much at set stage here. Oh man, missed my window. What I was gonna show you to do is how to go across like that, but yeah, see how fast that's set? That's just, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, we're gonna have to move on to a new pot of caramel. I've got a fresh pot of caramel bubbling over here. This time I decided to add half a cup of Caro syrup or corn syrup. It's known as a stabilizer. I always go old school and just do sugar and water, but I thought, hey, if I'm trying it for the second time, why not try this? See if I see a difference. My meringue is ready. It's finally at stiff peak stage, and so I'm going to be piping those and popping them into a 250-degree oven. Traditionally it'd be 200, but I want to speed them up a little bit so they finish about the time I'm ready for them with the croquembouche. We have stiff peak stage here. That's what you're looking for when you're beating. You're wanting, whenever you do a whip or a scrape or anything like that, you're going to want it to hold its own peak. That means it's ready for you to start piping. So I'm going to fill up my bag here. And get busy piping these. I figured I would do like a little, somewhat of kind of like a little star shape to decorate the tree. I thought that'd be cute for the holidays, Christmas, all that. As a nod to my Belizean heritage, I am adding some lime zest to this. This is more easily done with a microplane. I don't have one at the moment, so a small grater will work just fine. Growing up, we always had lime trees in our backyard, and I remember so well, have fond memories of going out behind the house and picking limes to make lime juice. In fact, We have this saying in Belize that we like to say about somebody that's dreaming of things that they can't afford, having champagne dreams with lime juice money, because limes are so readily available. You're more apt to have limes than you are champagne, obviously. So these lime trees had huge prickles of thorns on them, and I remember getting those in my feet pretty often too. So that wasn't always so fun. But anyways, I'm excited about how that looks in there. I think it'll add a nice green color, just a little bit of that Christmas festive color, and we'll see what it tastes like. And while doing this, be careful not to get the pith or the white part of your lime, because that's where the bitter flavor comes in. Should always burp your bag first, or squeeze out a little bit to let out any extra air before you start. The trick to this is consistency, 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 which can be really hard to get, especially if you haven't done it very often. But this will be pretty forgiving. It's not as rocket science as people make it out to be. The good news is, since it's egg whites and sugar only, it's not like, if you feel like you messed up a batch, it's not like you're dealing with a very high-end product. So have fun with it. Just experiment and keep going with it. You can add all kinds of flavors, all kinds of colorings to meringues. And yeah, you can really, really come up with a gorgeous product from just 2 very, very simple ingredients. So I'm hoping these are gonna mimic little snowballs or little droplets of snow on the Christmas tree, or croquembouche. And yeah, I'm just really excited about that. I'm getting so close. Oh, yep, I'm there with this. So I'm gonna pause this for a minute, throw these in the oven. Actually, I'll finish these last 5 that I have here. Throw this in the oven. Technically, this is something I should have done first and got in the oven right away, but hashtag mom life, kind of had a crazy day with the little ones, and so this didn't get done in the time frame I was hoping for, but that's okay. We're gonna roll with it. We're still gonna get it done, and we're gonna get to see a finished product. Okay, we have caramel that's ready, so I'm gonna have to hustle, hustle, hustle. Okay, this is already just a little bit darker than I would like it to be. Ouch. Be very careful when working with this stuff. Hot, hot, hot. Sugar will burn you in absolutely no time flat. So traditionally these would just have a little bit of caramel on the side to stick them together. But I was watching Duff Goldman the other night on YouTube actually, and this is how he did his, and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. I love that it's completely coated with sugar. And croquembouche actually translates to crunch in mouth. So you're gonna be getting a lot of crunch in mouth if you coat your entire donut hole, or profiterole if you choose to do those instead. I'm going about every other or so to kind of like even out the look, trying to use the larger ones on the bottom and hopefully taper up to the smaller ones. Whoa, this is a really odd shaped looking one. This is more like a hot dog bud in caramel, if you could imagine that. Goodness, and I'm trying to hustle. Come on, buddy, hold your place. Hold your place in line. Help me out here. I'm already creating strands. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's how we're gonna do the spun sugar later. Nothing so much fun as working with spun sugar. And like I was saying about the meringue, we're looking at sugar and water here, some of the cheaper products you can get nowadays. So you're not really experimenting with a whole lot of high-end products when you're trying something out like this. It's just experience, experience, experience. Make sure there's parchment on the floor, because this can make a humongous mess. You're so much better off sacrificing whatever paper you have, or an old towel that you don't like, something like that on the floor, versus trying to clean up this sticky, sticky mess. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Or move like you've been shot, like my mama used to always tell me. Okay. With the excess, I'm gonna try to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and do my spun sugar right here. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but there's little lines forming right on top of these skewers, and then I'm gonna pick them up later and form little nests or balls with them. Oh, this is so fun, I love it. Oh, I just wanna pop that in my mouth, but I know it would burn the tarnation out of me. Okay, so move, 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 move. Man, this is already way, way, way thicker than I want it to be. What a bummer. We might have to go to pot 3 with the caramel, but that's all right. We're having fun here. Oh man, that's hot. Okay, if I was a fast with my hands as Japanese people are with their sushi, I could probably do a couple at a time, but I don't see that happening right now. Another hot dog one, look at that one. It's hilarious looking. Okay, strand, 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 strand. Oh, I don't even know what happened here. That's more like a tumor. Okay, you stay right there, buddy. Do your job. Come on, I only give you 1 job to do, and that's to stay in place. Hold the dam, okay? Hold the dam. Thank you. Okay. Okay, let's go. Ooh, that created another little strand across. Man, that's beautiful. You could also create shapes with this, like on a parchment paper on a pan. You could do stars, swirls, all kinds of crazy things. Put it on, if you grease the back of a bowl, upside down bowl, you could do it over the top, make a design, and then it would leave you with that bowl shape to put on top of a dessert or something like that. So spun sugar is just, the possibilities are endless. Man, I need like a 3-man ninja team in here right now. Where are the minions when I need them? Seriously, can you imagine them attacking this right now? We'd be done in like no time. And the cool part is if you have parchment on your floor, you can pick the stuff off the parchment down there too, as long as it wasn't on your floor, and use those for designs. And it's usually thicker globs with like more little crystally pieces in it, so that's really cool too. Okay, 2 things that should never mix is hot sugar and a baby. But unfortunately, I don't have a babysitter right at the moment, and it's just all hands on deck today. So we're gonna roll with it, try to keep him out of harm's way, and hopefully he'll be my little sous chef. Right, Caspian? Sous chef? Huh? Okay. This is how you would traditionally do it anyways, not with the skewers. That was just a little hack. I'm starting to feel like I'm on the Great British Baking Show, and I'm down to the last seconds, and I'm not plated yet, and Paul and Mary are about to make their rounds, and they're gonna be like, oh, what is that? Anyways, that's all right. I'm having lots of fun, and that's the whole point of this show. I know my mommy would be so proud. She'd be here laughing and giggling, and we'd be dying about how some of these shapes look, because they are in sad shape. Haha, get it? Oh my word, there's something that's just therapeutic about this. Stack, 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 stack. Oh man, I almost wish I would have left this on a little bit longer, but that's all right. We are going to roll with it. Right, Caspian? We're gonna roll with it, buddy? Is that what we do around these parts? We roll with things? I feel like I'm gonna be that one crazy lady on the show that's always in last place, and instead of my CROQUEMBOUCHE being a cone, it's gonna be like a little flat top Buddhist temple or something. I hope not. I put some of that spun sugar in a little clump on top. I spun some more down here, and I'm getting ready to take the meringues that I can't find, they're right here, and attach them with some more sugar. It's gonna look like little snowballs. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. We got a little bit of a opening in the back here. I'm gonna call that the stairway to heaven. But we're gonna be able to cover that up, no problems. That's the beauty of spun sugar, just everywhere, and before you know it, that'll be all forgiven. Ooh, look at that little tail on that one. I kind of like that. Maybe I'll put that one all the way on top. Nah. Well, yeah, maybe I'll just leave it and leave the little tinsel hanging down. Oh, that's cute. I need some more thick strands like that. Kind of that tinsel effect. Ooh, I like it. I like it. Let's check that out, guys. So the sugar's a little bit thicker now, so I can do a little bit more of that. It's not quite as brittle as when it's real, real fine. Turn it so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, there it is, guys, with the meringues as the ornaments. Imagine walking into a party with that, guys. There it is. Thank you so much for watching. I had so much fun making it, and as always, bon appetit.